Howdy everybody. I'm up here on the top end of the farm where we have a lot of high grass here. And as I've said in other videos, this grass is not the type of grass that you would normally be cutting with a scythe. But a lot of people have written to me and thanked me for sharing my videos about scything. And I wanted to take a minute to point out some common mistakes that people make, not scything this type of grass, but scything kind of the regular kind of grass that you might have on your lawn or a different type of pasture. You know, we're in the tropics here. We get very fast growing grass. The grass gets very thick. It's like bamboo. It's very sturdy. That's why it can stand up like this and not fall over. So this is not the ideal type of grass to be teaching people to scythe with, but it's what I have to work with. So I want to point out some common mistakes that I've seen people make. The first one is not making a full sweep with the scythe. I'm left-handed, but I've never been able to find a left-handed scythe. So as far as I know, all scythes are right-handed. And for a lefty, I have to adapt. So what I mean by not making a complete sweep is the person will start, and they're more than likely right-handed, and they'll begin a sweep, and they'll go just so far, like this far. In other words, they'll go about this far, and then they'll stop. That's like half of a sweep. When you go to scythe, you want to imagine that there is a line here, just like this, and you're going to start with the tip of the scythe where the line is, and you're going to go in an arc over to the other side of the line. And that's a half moon or a half circle. And you want to practice this a little bit, doing the full sweep, the full arc of the scythe. Okay, now it's not that you have to be perfect, but if you're going to be out here scything, you want to make it as pleasant of an experience as possible, is a peaceful, because scything is a peaceful experience, and one that is not too demanding on the muscles in the body. And remember that scything is all about the core. Scything comes from the turning of the hips. A number of people had written to me about having elbow pain, and I made a video about that. I'll put it down in the description. And I got a friend of mine who's a tennis pro who allowed me to use some of his videos to show you that a lot of it is like tennis.
But here is the key. When the racket begins dropping, the non-hitting hand has to move across as if it's moving someone out of the way. Like someone's in the way of you seeing, like, let's say there's somebody standing in front of me, not allowing me to see the camera, right? So I'm gonna move them out of the way so I can see you. I'm gonna do that as I am dropping my racket. When I make that move, that's what allows me to rotate. So you have to think of it this way. What is bringing the racket through to contact? The body rotating. Well, what gets the body to rotate? The non-hitting arm clearing.
The tennis player uses the left hand to guide the core, and in the scythe, the left hand guides the core, which is where all your power comes from. And the right hand is used for precision. Now, a couple of other common mistakes that people make is when they're coming back. So they may make a full sweep, but when they come back, they're lifting up like this with their arm. That's an unnecessary movement. It's not doing anything to help you scythe. You may think it is because you got the idea you're going to attack the grass or something like that, but you don't have to attack the grass. When you're coming back from the arc, you should stop right here where this imaginary white line would be and start again. And the scythe never goes any higher. Now the converse of that is people who come over here on this side of the arc and they lift the tip up like this. Again, that's wasted motion. It's going to make you tired. You're going to get very tired scything by trying to do this type of motion, coming around the half arc and then coming up higher. And a lot of that happens because, again, there's this mentality that you need to help the scythe do better. No, you let the scythe do the work. The tool does the work. And so you're coming here, the scythe is at a ground level where you want it. You're going to come around and keep it at that same level. Stop here, come back, step forward with your left foot, and now you're coming with the right, this way. I'm using a regular scythe blade, not the one that I usually use, which is a brush blade, but I wanted to use this one today because most of you are going to be using this kind of blade. Now, let me just hone the blade real quick before I get started. This is called honing the blade. And honing means to smooth. And in the process, you sharpen, but you're not really trying to sharpen. I'm not putting any pressure on this sharpening stone, and it's a very, very, very light sharpening stone. All I'm doing is smoothing the edge. Okay, as long as I'm on the subject, another common mistake that people make is they take too much material with the scythe. They come in, look at this. This is clumping grass. If I put the scythe here and try to cut the grass, it's not going to work. The grass is going to stomp me. But if I use the scythe like a finger, the tip of the scythe like a finger, and stick it in right here, I'm going to be able to cut this very easily. And then if I come back on another sweep, I'll be able to take this and then finally this. And like I said, this is not really the right blade to use for this type of grass. And I got a big rock right in front of me here, but I'm imagining, I'm looking at the side of my foot here. I'm putting the scythe here, the tip of the scythe here, and I'm going to come around, and the tip is going to be even with the other side of my foot. I come back, and the same thing. And you're walking. You have to always remember to be walking. Now, what I'm doing here, cutting clumping grass again, is a little different from what most of you people are going to be doing, but because I have to think about how I'm going to approach the clumping grass. In other words, I'm not going to approach it like this because I know that's not going to work. I know from experience that's not going to work. But I am going to approach it a little bit at a time. And there it goes. I just wanted to give you a little bit of instruction on how to avoid tiring yourself out, because a lot of people say, oh yeah, it's a great workout. Well, actually, it is a great workout, but it shouldn't be like you went to the gym. It shouldn't be that kind of a workout. And if it is, you're probably doing something like this. You're pulling the scythe up too high and you're wasting a lot of motion. Or you're pulling it over here too high, you're wasting a lot of motion. Or you're trying to take too much stuff all at once and you're pulling and pulling. You're not letting the scythe do the work. You're trying to do the work yourself. Your job is to guide the scythe. So I'll leave it at that. Thanks so much for watching.